Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is chapter 152 of Gains, and this one is titled Sunday Fun Day. Little Shinaru was completely zonked and just ragdolled as you put her in her car seat, while the boys put the bags in the back. Then it was hugs goodbye and promises to keep in touch, and then she was gone. Aww, you hummed as you watched the car pull away and turn out of the parking lot. It's so much fun today. You two are perfect dads. And you're the perfect mama, Kiri said shyly, taking your hand in his. Yeah, Bakugo agreed, taking her other hand. Mama. You grinned at each of them, and then kissed each of them on the cheek, and then it was time for you guys to go too. You weren't sure what your boys would be doing that night, but you sure as hell had a lot on your plate. Training with Ori again, and then chats with Mum. You were planning on seeing her lots next week, so for now you didn't want to overextend yourself on the weekend. You were a busy queen. Training was grueling as usual, but you got to tell Ori about how you took down the motorbike with your quirk, and she seemed impressed. She wasn't the easiest person to impress, but you were getting in her good books more and more. After training, you got to chat to Mum, and told her that Fat Gum hadn't even mentioned that he'd come to see her. I mean, you said to her as you were lying on the floor doing glute bridges, he obviously feels like he needs to hide something if he's not wanting to tell me. I think he might have feelings for you. Oh, I wouldn't dream of entertaining that idea, your mum chuckled, acting like a love-struck high schooler. I don't want to get my hopes up. No, but I'm being serious. Why else wouldn't he have said anything? Oh, and the other thing he said was, when he was mentioning for the intern celebration night we could bring one person, he made it obvious that I, definitely me, could bring one extra person, and I really think he's hoping it's going to be you. Oh, by the way, sorry, I've dropped this on you real quick. It's this coming Friday. Can you come? We're celebrating the week of internship going well, and I really want you to be there, you begged, your legs quivering as you held the bridge and then dropped your hips back down to the ground again. Oh, honey, you can bet everything that I will be there, and it's because I love you and not because I know Fat Gum's going to be there, she said, and you laughed. Sure, Mum, you chuckled. Oh, stop it, she giggled. I'm glad things are going really well for you, Mum, you said happily as you rolled over onto your stomach on the floor. Oh, honey, they really are. I'll see you on Monday for the next counselling session, she asked. Oh, yeah, definitely, you replied, smiling into the phone. Good, she bubbled. Okay, my sweet, I love you and I'll see you then. Okay, Mum, sleep well, you replied, saying one more final goodbye and then hanging up and sighing with happiness before getting up to change and go to bed. Tomorrow was going to be another big day, but a good day nonetheless. Cat, you hissed when he stalked into the Heights Alliance pantry the next morning and smacked you square on the backside. You had been up for the past half hour, getting your bag packed for the hike with Bakugo and Kiri, and were excitedly packing food now for the picnic lunch. You had work to do, but what was this blonde bozo doing? Being a menace to society, that's what. Can you help me? You said in an exasperated tone. I need to pack all this before we go, and it's just me packing, and there's so much food. Pack this as well, he said, smacking you on the ass once more. I'll pack you in the bag if you're not careful, you chided him playfully. Now get this stuff and put it in the bag out there and let's go. Fine, he grunted. Thankfully, he had gotten the spanking out of his system and was mildly more helpful in advancing the day's proceedings. And then once the bags were packed, it was just off down to the ground lobby to wait for Kiri, and then with a kiss on his cheek once he arrived, you were all off to the bush for your hike. It was a beautiful sunny morning that Sunday, and the walk into the bushes started the same as what you remembered it being when you'd walked with the girls months before. But this time you had so much more energy. Your legs felt strong, you could carry your backpack without complaint, and when you passed the spot where Eureka had suggested a drink break, you smiled, thinking to yourself about how you'd almost passed out at that point. But look at you now. You had surpassed your weaker self in leaps and bounds, and smiled as you followed Bakugo past the spot onwards up the mountain. It was much further up the mountain that you stopped for a break, and you dropped your backpack off your back and took a big drink of water, then did a few leg stretches and lunges just for good measure. And Kiri gave you a soft smile as he took his shirt off and tied it around his waist, only his singlet on underneath. I'm so proud of you, Yin, he said honestly. You come such a long way. I remember you before, not even being able to walk up a flight of stairs without being out of breath, but look at you now. I was just thinking the same thing before, you said. Last time I came here with the girls, we had to stop way back at those rocks, but I was able to just keep going this time. It's all thanks to being in a relationship with us, right? Bakugo said as he came up behind you and wrapped his arms around your waist, then kissed you on the neck. Partly, you replied cheekily. Don't lie, he growled playfully. You giggled, and then Kiri stood up. Okay, I think we should get going. They're I think there's something good at the top of this mountain, so we really should keep going, he said, his nervousness starting to show a little. Bakugou eyed him suspiciously for a second. What's up there? He asked with a narrowed gaze. Lunch, he said brightly to cover for Kiri's nervousness. Let's go. And with that you led the charge, getting your bag and leading the way up the rest of the mountain. The trees were thinning as you got up higher, and you thought about how perfect this day really was going to be, and grinned to yourself with a quick glance back at your boys behind you. They were having a good look around at the landscape, looking relaxed and happy, just how it was supposed to be. Just got to get that final relationship hoop jumped through, and then we're all set and can take this next step in our relationship, you thought with excitement. Oh, we are 2 chapters out from the completion of this book. Is it going to be the confession, the next chapter? Stay tuned for chapter 153 coming tomorrow.